Clicked it.
And we are live.
Boy.
Are we live? I think we're live.
I hope we're live.
Let's see. Are we live?
Well, it shows 5, and there was 5 when we were still on it.
Yeah, and our streaming software has quit a couple of times. Yep, look, that's us. Okay. All right, great. Well, let me close that, and because that's going to be, say that's delayed. Okay. So, okay, here we are. Well, hey, hi, and welcome to the Bombshell Studio here. I'm Patrick, the Sculpt Dude, and this is Vicky.
Hey!
And we're about to launch our Counterblast Kickstarter campaign on Kickstarter. Woo!
They're probably like, launch it already.
Okay, well, I mean, with that, we just want to make sure that all the stuff's working because the software crashed a couple of times as we started, so cool.
Yeah, we don't want to crash.
No crashing. Okay. So we're gonna switch over to here, and okay, here's our behind the scenes on our Kickstarter campaign. So everything is all ready to go. Preview, we already did all that stuff, and we've already gotten all the word out. So if you're ready to launch,
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's light this candle.
All right, I am ready to launch. And I've read all the stuff and seen all the things and blah blah blah.
Uh-oh.
What?
What do you mean, blah, blah, blah?
Well, it's gonna be, here's all the details that we've already put in. So.
No, I'm just...
Okay, so I'm gonna hit the launch project button.
There we go.
And the drum roll.
Fire there. I don't know.
Bam.
And here we go.
Yep.
Project is live.
It is live. Okay, so let's look at what it's doing here. Okay. Congratulations, your project is live. That's what we were waiting on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so how long have you been working on the new Counterblast? Since 1485.
It's been several years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at least 3, maybe longer than that. Well, actually, longer than that, really. I mean, because when did the 2.0 come out? 2017. 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then pretty much from the very beginning, because, I've kind of been pushing for this the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's back in the day. Hey, I want to say hi to everybody that's jumping in the chat. Thanks for coming in and checking out our live stream today.
Awesome.
Because we're going to be with you for a little while as we've, launched the project here.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we get any backers or anything here at the onset, because the emails have gone out and it should have notified everybody that, hey, the thing is live now. So.
Yeah.
We've got.
Who all we got here?
Grom Molotok.
Okay.
And that says that it, Patrick is an excellent first name. So I wonder if that's Patrick Chambers. Could it be? I don't know. But Infinite Aaron has dropped in, and Timothy Hickson. Hey, Timothy.
Hey.
Thanks for popping into the.
Man, that's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. Adventure Battle Game.
I mean, exactly.
Right.
I know.
Well, we launched the first Kickstarter for Counterblast was like 2014. So it's like, okay, that's
almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years, yeah.
Almost 10 years.
But
and then...
okay.
Oh, right. We got somebody. Somebody hopped on there.
Look at that. Looks like they got a
we're off and running, maybe.
Yeah.
We have ignition.
Yay.
So, there we go.
Well, cool. Well, I'm gonna go through the project here, and right at the top, I had added a link on the top of the screen, or the top of the page, that it's like, hey, we're live streaming, so that way, even afterwards, this video will still be in the project where you can go back and watch what we're talking about, and we'll be answering questions if you guys have any questions about what we're doing with the project and everything. So we're gonna go through some of that kind of stuff. This is kind of an overview section about what the setting is, and then why we decided to put that in the Savage Worlds universe. And when we did the first Counterblast game, the first Adventure Battle game, when Brett and I were working on it, we looked at Savage Worlds as a contender because we were trying to decide, well, do we want to do a tabletop miniature battle game, or do we want to do role-playing game or what. He didn't have a lot of experience with role-playing games at the time. It was mainly more of a tabletop gamer, and so we kind of looked at that and looked at the miniature aspect of it and decided to kind of go that way with it. But Savage Worlds was also kind of in the background, and then when Vicky and I were talking about it later to do the role-playing game version, we looked at D20 stuff, and we looked at the Starfinder.
Yeah, we looked at Starfinder, and I don't know where they are. I need to find them because people might enjoy seeing some of that behind the scenes stuff. But I actually have a whole bunch of notes that I did doing conversions to Starfinder, and it's not that it was bad, but it was just really complicated, to me. I mean, it was like, man, this is kind of cumbersome, and there's so much to it and everything. And I was like, well, in some ways that's really good because you can be real detailed about stuff and whatnot. But game wise, play wise, it's like, wow. And Pat was like, hey, have you looked at Savage Worlds, and their game mechanic and everything? And I hadn't looked at it yet, but so then I went and looked and started reading about, they had, was that soon after they had come up, put out their core book?
Who? What?
Savage Worlds. Pinnacle.
Oh, well, yeah, well, they
because that seemed like that was pretty new.
Well, the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition is the most current version of it. They ran a Kickstarter of that for like a few years ago. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was why. Well, when they updated it and we looked at that, it's like, oh, well, this is a contender because.
Yeah, when I looked at that, I was like, oh my gosh, here we go, because there was just so much about it that just really clicked with Counterblast and things we were kind of familiar with RPGs and stuff like that. So
well, it's kind of built in for cinematic storytelling, for cinematic action and everything. It's kind of built around that anyway. And Counterblast as kind of a pulp setting, it kind of slots right into that. I mean,
it just really.
And that was another reason that we looked at it initially back in the day.
Yeah.
But another thing that was kind of weird or clunky about what we, looking at Starfinder to try to kind of, put it in with that, or like the D20 system, was that the Starfinder stuff was so integrated with the setting, with their Galarian thing, and
oh, really?
Oh yeah, like when you look through the book, it's I don't know, it just a lot of the rules and stuff seem to be kind of built into that setting.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, well, I don't really want to publish a thing for that setting or be a third party publisher for something like that. I'd really like to do something that's like our own setting, which is what we basically did here.
Yeah. Well, Savage Worlds game mechanic is really nice. I mean, if you're looking for something that's streamlined and pretty straightforward and simple, and I mean, you can get complex with it, but I mean, it's very, when I say simple, I mean that it's really user friendly. It's really easy to understand and grasp where they're going with stuff, and that's what I really liked about it, because I was looking at it and going, okay, well, how can I look at the things that we have in Counterblast and what they can do, and how will that translate over in the Savage Worlds mechanic, and look at what they had, and it really wasn't that difficult.
Yeah,
I mean, it
was a really good fit.
It's we're still playtesting and tweaking things, because when I did the conversion, I was just looking, well, let me convert what we have in Counterblast over to this, and then now we're kind of going back and looking at it, and it's like, well, does this need to be like this, or would it be better to kind of even streamline it a little further, and what things are really keeping what makes Counterblast itself, and what's kind of redundant, and remove the redundancies and the extraneous stuff that's kind of going to bog gameplay down.
Right.
while keeping the uniqueness of what's Counterblast. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's Aaron was saying that's like he jumped in and backed.
Oh yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Final straw that had me jumping to back this project. Good choice for pulpy rule set.
Yeah. It was kind of like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pretty quickly on into doing the conversion, I was like, yeah, this is definitely the way to go with this.
Yeah.
And hopefully what we end up with is going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty awesome, fun game.
Mm-hmm.
And we're definitely going to improve on, elaborate on, I guess is a better word, elaborate on the setting and all the background of all the different species and creatures and cultures and all kinds of, things to be found in Counterblast, and
right.
And that's elaborate. It's a great opportunity to elaborate even more than what we had from the first two versions.
Yeah. Well, and the second edition tabletop version is still out there. I mean, it's like, and we're still we're still going to be putting models out for that, and the cool thing about that is, to me, is that the miniatures that we're going to put out are going to be suitable for both games. It's like, well, you can use them as character models, in the role-playing game if you want to do that, or adversaries or whatever, and you
can still use them for
your tabletop
battle game too.
Right.
So
that's still all viable. Mm-hmm. So in this section here on the project, we're talking about a little bit about the setting and a little bit about the
because it's an alternate future.
It's retro futurism in a way, because it's like what would the future be in 1955?
If the Illyrians showed up during World War II and things kind of went a more peaceful and hey, let's join the other species of the galaxy kind of situation.
So kind of,
but then it's not so peaceful.
But it's not.
Turns out it's not.
You get out there, you're just trading one set of battle things for another, So it's like this. But
now we're fighting in space.
Well, you can't have interesting sci-fi without some kind of conflict, and it's like it's like, and I'm not talking about just like teen angst, kind of thing. It's like, well, it's it's galaxy-wide threats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So let's see. The Counterblast universe is an imaginative setting which I have role-played using the adventure battle game rules over the years. I look forward to delving into it as an actual RPG setting.
Oh, thanks, Timothy.
Thanks, Timothy. Yeah.
I really hope you enjoy playing in it. It's like I said, there's some more stuff I'm trying to elaborate on with several of the different species and their cultures beyond what we already had. So I don't want to give too much away, but
right. So so Vicky wrote up a brief overview of like some of the species, some of the not necessarily species but cultures and stuff on here, the Niran, the Edo, and that kind of thing. I've got a little space in here where I've got some Mechas art that's still in the works, and I'll be posting that here in the next day or two when I get that, so you guys will kind of.
The Mechas were shy.
They were shy.
They don't really want to.
Yeah. They don't want to be seen.
I guess.
So,
The MechNet didn't want them to pose for pictures or something.
Yeah. So we're talking a little bit about the setting here, the civilization, that kind of stuff. And then the salvage hall.
I want to say Savage Hall too.
Well, yeah, because of Savage Worlds, and I was like,
I know it's Savage Worlds. Yeah. I almost suggested to you maybe you should put Savage Hall.
Right, but I was thinking when I did this about the Galactic Recovery Agency, because they salvage stuff. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, here's what you get. So here's what we're doing on the campaign. We want to do a Counterblast book, right? So we're going to print this hardcover rule book that's for Savage Worlds, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've got detailed here about what's going to be in it, lore and rules regarding the cosmic forces of the deep, unique setting rules, Galactic Council of Worlds, the Galactic Defense Force, the Galactic Recovery Agency, and the Galactic this and Galactic that.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of galactic stuff in the Galactic.
Because it's galactic, like, okay, but there's plenty of stuff that's going to be in it that's not galactic. So, I mean, even though that's kind of listed together. Then, we're going to do, there's going to be a robot section. There's the bestiary that's going to have a lot of critters and stuff in it. I know you've got a lot of critters worked up right now because it's like, well, some of those adversaries are Edo, and then some of them are like xenomorph alien, not like from the movie, but alien things that
there's
plants
different creatures and stuff that we'll have in there that you just encounter, like the ice slug and Thule monster and
so stuff that we have out now
some new stuff
and a bunch of new stuff. So I'm looking forward to being able to put that stuff out. So let's see. Painted me was what led me look at the game to begin with. Oh, okay, cool. Look at that. See, Timothy's out there.
I know, man. Look,
waving the painted miniatures around and carrying the battle standard. Yeah, we appreciate that. So, okay, and speaking of miniatures, hey, we've got a whole brand new set of 8 new sculpts that we're gonna do.
Yeah. Male or females of the Alani.
Right, we've got the Alani set. We've got the Illyrians.
Shrenar.
Yep. So we've got those.
And humans. Mm-hmm. And sorry, Nirans. The Nirans didn't make it in this time.
Yeah, but I mean, we have Niran models in the web store already.
Well,
so it's like they can get them.
Yeah.
And use
they can use those until we come out with some new Exile.
Right.
Versions.
Yeah. Because we'll definitely do a set of Niran Exile, character models.
Player character models.
Here we go. Look at this. Xenoflora and Xenofauna.
There you go.
I'm digging that.
I'm liking that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely liking that.
So. Okay, so what do we got? Oh, look at this. There's a free Brack Maxter model. So Yeah, so and basically this is linked, this image, so if you have a 3D printer at home, because on the Kickstarter project you have the option of getting the 3D printed stuff from us, or you can get the STL files and download those over on my Manufactory. When we get down to the delivery section at the bottom, then we'll kind of talk a little bit more in detail about how that's going to work. Okay, any chance we'll add some of your other Counterblast STL files at a backer discount as a stretch goal? Okay, that's a good question, and we talked about that, and we're not going to be adding miniatures onto the Kickstarter campaign, but whenever you go through the fulfillment through the pledge management process, and depending on which section you get, if you're going to go through our web store through the pledge manager, or if you're going to go through DriveThruRPG / My Mini Factory for the fulfillment on that, then you'll be able to not only select your rewards at the time that you want for the project, which is going to include this miniature set, but you can also add on the STL files that are available on that platform. So I'll talk a little bit about that when we get to the delivery section. But anyway, but if you don't have Brack Maxter at this point as an STL file, and you do have a 3D printer at home, pop on over and download him for free and print one out and get to painting. Oh, and speaking of that, I always keep a Brack Maxter on my desk, so you can see him right here. I don't know if it'll focus on that. So this is actually a resin casting of Brack, and I like to keep that handy on my workbench here with my ruler so that I can measure him and make sure that the other stuff that's in there. I also put a little file of him in there when I'm sculpting stuff so that I can make sure everything kind of lines up with, that as he's my, yardstick character. So everything kind of matches that.
That's how you determine scale for everything.
Right, yeah, because I print him out and then I can put him up next to other models and see, oh, okay, well, this is bigger, this is smaller, and kind of make sure that our miniatures kind of fit in with everybody else's miniatures.
Cool.
So, but anyway, okay, so then the next big thing is the Counterblast Limited Lunchbox Edition.
Oh, sorry.
Was that Shopcat? Was Shopcat doing something? Okay. So we put out a lunchbox back when we did the second edition adventure battle game, right? Because it's the book, the hardback, and it had Giorgio's cover. We did the lunchbox.
Yeah.
2017. Yeah. And we didn't actually run a Kickstarter for that. We did what we call a book starter, which was basically, it was just a pre-order thing that we did in our own web store. It's like, well, hey, get the book, get the lunchbox, whatever. So, but anyway, so we have a finite number of the materials that are going to go into the lunchbox. So we're limiting that to 250 lunchboxes on the Kickstarter project.
Right.
And so it's not really going to be an add-on item because we have to kind of track how many of them we're selling, you know. And if we have any extras left over, then you'll be able to add them on in the pledge manager. But there'll also be, you know, it's like once they're sold out, they're sold out. You know, it's a finite kind of thing.
Yeah, because we can limit the inventory on it.
Yeah.
And when it goes on the pledge manager, I believe.
Mm-hmm. But here's all the cool stuff that you're going to get in the lunchbox. We're going to do a soft cover 5.5 by 7.5 digest version of the Counterblast RPG Core Setting Guide. And then you'll get the PDF along with that, which you can download, you know, later. Or maybe when we get the PDF set up and send that off to print, we'll probably put that in the pledge manager for you guys to go ahead and download it, because it's like, well, it's on its way to the printer.
Yeah.
So that way you can get the PDF ahead of time and start looking through it and putting characters together and doing all that. But anyway, so you're also going to get a set of the 8 archetype miniatures. So we're going to put those in the lunchbox. Then you're going to get Savage Worlds Action Deck in its own little special metal tin with the Counterblast logo on it. And that was super cool when we ran across that, because I didn't know they had that as a thing. So we thought, okay, well, this will be fun. Then we're going to do a
metal tin for your metal lunchbox.
That's right. And then we've got the little bag, the dice bag with the Ultonium crystals in it for bennies. So I think you get like 25 of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You get 25.
And then we're going to do a 5x7 character pad that you can put your characters on and tear off and all that. And we'll have extra lunchbox. We'll have extra character record sheet pads as add-ons and like in the web store. So if you guys want to order more of those, you know, we'll have them. So we'll kind of go over the pledges a little bit to give you guys an idea of kind of how we've set those up and sort of how they work. So the first one that we've got is like a $5 add-on access. Okay. And that's like, if you want to back the project, but you're not really sure, I don't know which I want to get, or I'm going to wait for stretch goals or whatever. You just want to get your foot in the door, put $5 in there, and then you can add items on later. You can adjust your pledge. You can edit your pledge. If there's an item that comes up that it's like you want to, you know, add that on a la carte. Let's see. The current year models for. Is there a possibility of getting a campaign starter star map of a region of the Scattered Sands as a stretch goal? Starter star map. Well, okay. Yes and no. Because we're going to talk about World Anvil here when we get through the project thing and kind of let you guys know what we sort of have in mind with that and see if you think that's cool. So, but yeah, we talked about the possibility of doing like printed maps and that sort of thing. And so, but we didn't really put any of those together for the Kickstarter project. So I'm not saying no, because they have.
Well, the book's going to have.
Well, the book's going to have a map in it.
Maps, maps of the overall area, and then some of the more, you know, detailed areas. But as far as like a big map, we hadn't really looked at that.
No, we did talk about that when we were talking about maps and stuff, and putting out because you know, we can do them print on demand too.
Oh, okay.
I think that Drive Through RPG is offering, you know, like poster size things where it's like, well, we can put out maps and stuff.
Well, we can look into that.
Yeah, and then, you know, they just print them out and put them in a thing and ship them out. So
that's cool. So
that is a possibility, but it's not. We don't have that in the campaign at the moment. But like Vicky was talking about, there is going to be there are going to be regional setting maps in the book. So that will be a thing. Then what we've got after the add-on section is the digital edition, and this is like, it's all digital. Everything that's in this, if you back it at the $50 digital edition level, you're going to get the PDF of the book, and I've got this right here that I need to fix that.
Yeah. That's not a print.
It's not going to be a print. It's just going to be the PDF of the book. So that's what I get for copying and pasting.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll fix that graphic. This is all digital. So you're going to get STL files of all the miniatures, and you're going to get the PDF of the book, plus when we do stretch goal things of digital stuff that's going to be added in, dropped in as like a freebie thing, then you'll get that as a digital
file
edition too. Yeah. So that will be also added on.
Yeah, both. Oh, well, that's correct.
This one is print.
Yeah, that's
this
correct.
one. This
that
one
is print and PDF.
Right. So so I just have to go back and edit the other one. But okay, so this is the print and minis edition, which in this bundle you're going to get the printed hardback book. You're going to get the 8 3D printed Counterblast miniatures in the set, and then you'll also get the PDF attached to that, and then you'll be available to get or be eligible to get stretch goals and add-ons. So this is the first print bundle that we have, and then the next print bundle is going to be the lunchbox edition, which as you can see here, you get the metal lunchbox. I didn't have any pictures of the foam inserts, but I can put those in one of the Kickstarter updates at another time. I have a picture of them. I just got to dig it out in the folders from the other lunchbox. So you're going to get a soft cover digest book, which is going to be a little 5.5 by 7.5 size. Yeah.
Because the hardcover book, the only reason the hardcover book's not being included with that is because it won't fit in the lunchbox.
It's bigger than the lunchbox.
It's bigger than the lunchbox.
Yeah. But when we were putting the lunchbox together, we looked at the possibility of we want to include the book with that. We want to have a book. So we're going to print a second version of the book as a mini digest size, which is kind of cool because we did that with our first Kickstarter thing, because it's kind of reminiscent of the little cereal, the pulp cereal digest things. Yeah. And man, I used to have like a whole ton of those when I was a kid and read all kinds of sci-fi stories and stuff in there. So it'll be in that kind of a format, but it'll be in color. Yeah,
this one will be in color.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to get that. You'll get the 8 printed miniatures, the miniature set. Then we're going to do the action card deck with the 10. And so the 10 will have the Counterblast logo on it, and the cards will be like a regular poker deck, but it'll be dressed as Counterblast stuff. So it'll have the logo on one side, and then you'll have all the suits on the other side, so you can draw those for the...
And then the face cards will have Counterblast art on them.
Yeah, it's going to have art, character art, and that sort of thing. So... So that way you can use those because the initiative rounds for combat in Savage Worlds uses a poker deck for that. Right. So we thought it'd be kind of cool to include that. And then of course you get the character sheet pad and then the Altonium crystals and so forth. So that's all the stuff that's coming in the lunchbox. And I'm really excited about that because that's kind of a unique thing. I don't see anybody else putting lunchbox starter sets out there, So... good call.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to cover the add-on section real quick. We'll take a look at that. And it's basically, $40 for the book. You get the hardback book. And this also says printed book, print and PDF. And that is correct. You're going to get the book and you're going to get the PDF with that.
Excuse me.
You okay?
Got a tickle in my throat. I know. What?
Okay, and then the
oh, cool. Well, thank y'all.
Setting specific cards.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Well, and there's some more coming too, which we'll show you here in just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, so the add-ons, right? Okay, so the hardback book, you can get that by itself with the PDF. Then we're also doing the mini digest book, the one that's going to come in the lunchbox. You can get extra copies of that or just a single copy of it if you want. That will also come with the PDF. And then you can get just the PDF. If you don't really want the printed things, you can order just the PDF.
But you don't want the STLs of the minis or whatever, you know.
Yeah. If that's not a thing.
So you don't want to go in on the digital bundle, but you do want to get a PDF of the book. You can
back at the add-on level and then just get the STL. Yeah. Or the PDF. Right. So then we've got the two different miniature sets. So you get the resin miniature set for $55, and that's got all 8 characters in it. These are 3D printed by us, and we'll package those up and send them out. Or you can get the digital STL download if you'd rather do that, and those will be available through My Mini Factory and Drive-Thru RPG. So they'll be on both platforms. So if you're on either one or both, you can download them, at both places. We've got extra character sheet pads. We've got extra sets of Ultonium bennies. So you want to be able to grab some of those for each one of your players. And then you can get the action deck 10. So all of this stuff is a la carte. So if you want to get, hey, I want to get a mini book and I want to get some Ultonium bennies, then you can just get those. Or you can combine all that stuff. But, the bundle deals are, you're going to save some money by getting the lunchbox, with all the stuff in it. Or if you want to get the hardback and the miniature set, you can do that. So it just depends. We tried to make it as flexible as we could, to accommodate a lot of different combinations.
Yeah, what people might want to get.
Yep. So then we've got our stretch goal section here, and the first stretch goal that we've got is 30 because our funding goal is going to be 25,000. So when we reach 30, if we get beyond that, we're looking at putting out a wild card character deck, and that's going to go into the minis, the print and minis pledge and the lunchbox pledge for free. And then if you backed at the digital edition level, then we're going to put the PDF of it in there for you. And then actually, if you have that, it'll be active on Drive-Thru RPG, and you can just go in and order a printed deck, from them, like if you're in a different region from where we are in the U.S. So, and then they'll ship it from that location to you. So then here's our little stretch goal placeholder, and we do have future stretch goals in mind. So we've been talking about creating new playable species. Right now we've got 3 in the works, and throughout the course of the campaign, we'll be showing you guys sketches and our thoughts or descriptions, blurbs, of kind of what we're thinking about that as those come up as stretch goals. We've got a few plot point campaign books in mind, and these will also be digest books that will be available as print and PDF. Very similar to the format of the mini book that's going to be in the lunchbox. I've also got in mind to do a
on shot.
No,
I think you meant one.
That's supposed to be one shot.
Yeah,
and
one
so
shot.
I should be making a list of hey, these are things I need to correct.
You need to fix this.
I need to fix that. Yeah. So
it's like we looked at this multiple times, you guys.
We've been looking at this thing for 2 weeks.
I think that's part of the problem. We didn't catch some of this. It's we've just been looking at it too much.
Yeah. So okay, so yeah, that's a one-shot collection of episode adventures that's going to be for Quick Game. So let's see.
Yeah, okay.
Where are humans always forgotten about in the GCW? Oh, because they're always late to the game. See, they're all of the other prominent species have been there for a while. Yeah. So it's that's always
they're new,
right? But
yeah, so we're going to have some accessory books that we're looking at possibly putting out, like
Rocket Bike Racing Game.
Yeah, the Rocket Bike Racing Guide, and if you want to, just run some rocket bike races, that's going to have a lot of different things.
How to attract sponsors, how to kit out your bikes.
Mods you can put on your bike.
Well,
and
prominent racing courses across the galaxy, because there's like here on Earth we've got like the Daytona 500. We've got I'm not a big racing circuit guy, but my brother-in-law is. Vicky's brother.
Yeah, my brother is.
And so we've been kind of tapping him for some info on how that would work. But
you can paint Cosmic Cola logos on your bike,
right?
And
that would be a cool idea. Is to like put out decal sheets with all different little logos that you could put on.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. That's a great idea.
Anyways, there's a bunch of kind of cool stuff that we could do for that. But that's going to be a digest book,
and even it should have like guides on how to build, how to set up your own custom race circuits.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
have a lot of fun stuff
and because it's specifically built for Savage Worlds, it's like they've got
yes, that's exactly right. And we're even looking at having different riders. Right now we only have male and female human riders for the rocket bikes, but we're working on getting, Alani and Shrenar and Illyrian riders for the bikes that you can.
Right. Yeah. There's going to be a whole bunch of other species that I'm going to make as riders that'll fit those rocket bikes.
Yeah.
Plus, right now the Barracuda bike is out of production, and I'm going in and making some tweaks to it to kind of update it to the level of the other rocket bikes. To put those, I'll put that one out, in the HS38 bike, which has been out of print for a while. I've got to go in and really update that so that it fits with the other rocket bikes.
Right, but all those, the current 5 bikes that are out, the Windrunner, the Hurricane, the Rambler, and the 2 Alani,
the Thunder bikes,
basically it'd be the Thunder bike, and then the Barracuda and the HS38. All those are going to be included in the racing guidebook.
Right. Yeah, just as a matter of course.
Yeah.
But anyway, but there will probably be an opportunity for us to work on like a card rule system, because I know they've got like chase rules in Savage Worlds, and it's kind of an abbreviated thing. So it's like if you wanted to play like a racing game and you don't want to have to break out the miniatures to do it, then there may be like a card or chart section that you can kind of dice through to, with your characters in a session and have sort of an abbreviated thing. So we're looking at a lot of different options for that. We don't know yet because we're still working it out. But anyway, that's on the docket as a future release, and so it's in our stretch goal list. We've got a locations book, ships book, creatures deck for our xenoflora and xenofauna.
Yes.
Which
I think that's going to have to be like on the card.
That may be in print.
It's a xenoflora or a xenofauna.
Right.
I like that.
Very appropriate.
That's awesome.
And then we've got an NPC archetype deck, and that's going to be.
That's like general.
Like
that's going to be like general NPCs, like GDF Sentry or Niran Clan Sisters, or it's wild cards are unique characters, like named characters, but the NPC deck will be your general NPC characters.
Yeah, and then
your extras, I guess.
Right. Yeah, extras.
Yeah, they call them extras.
Extras.
Yeah.
Like casting.
Yeah.
So we got that. And
we're going to have a
robot deck.
Robot deck? I was going to have a robot book.
Well, that too. And it may be that may be an opportunity for us to really expand on what we were thinking about for running, robot characters as player characters and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd probably be addressed if we do a robot book. Then that'll be addressed in there.
Right, because I remember back in the day in the West End games Star Wars version, they put out books for that stuff. Like the Tramp Freighter Guide was super great because it's like that game was oriented towards like, well, you're like a rebel character, and it's like, well, what if I don't want to be a rebel character? What if I want to be a spaceship smuggler guy, like a Han Solo type character? So you had to wait for that source book to come out.
Yeah.
You know, and then they did like a droids book where it's like, oh well, you can play droid as a character and stuff. So, you know, we're kind of taking that as you know, that was fun. Bots, robots is so old fashioned.
Yeah. Bots.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's distinct. It's not droids because that's obviously distinct, you know, for a different IP. But anyway, so yeah, so a bots book. That's, you know, kind of what we're looking at, or a bots deck, you know, like character cards or whatever. Okay, so then we, you know, down towards the bottom, we at the project we've got Can't Stop the Signal here. So this is our social media section. If you don't know, we're all over social media, all over the place, like pretty much everywhere you want to go. I don't have TikTok on there because I'm still working on putting together videos and stuff, and it's just enough to try to get stuff on our YouTube channel. So, I mean, we're streaming live on YouTube right now. So please like and subscribe. We're working on more YouTube content because Vicky and I are going to try to start putting together a weekly streaming show. The show that I have right now is on Wednesday nights, and it's me sculpting live in ZBrush. And like on the past couple of weeks, I've been working on the characters that you saw in the miniature section in the campaign. So now that I've gotten those, you know, set up and ready to print, I'm going to start working on, you know, some other new releases that we'll be putting out, you know, down the line. So stop by on Wednesday nights on YouTube and check out, you know, me sculpting live on there and ask a bunch of questions and pester me and keep me company in the chat. But Vicky and I are also talking about doing a show together where we're just talking about like what we're doing now. Hey, this is what we're thinking about for Counterblast and what we're thinking about for new releases. And then there's going to be conventions coming up, and we're doing ReaperCon, and oh, you're going to want to paint stuff for ReaperCon for, you know, the Golden Melee, because that's going to be another thing this year that we're looking forward to. So yeah, so we're going to
we still have the bomb tags.
Yeah, right. We've got all of the dog tags for the...
We still have all our Bombshell dog tags.
Right, so paint a mini and enter it in the show and, you know, win a dog tag. That's really cool. Those dog tags are
nice.
Awesome. Yeah, they're very nice. Okay, so let's see. We also have a Discord server, so click on the link and join our Discord server, and then I sit there and I keep that open in a window while I'm sculpting and working on stuff during the day. So you can post stuff, post your hobby things, ask questions, and do that stuff over there. That's another way to get a hold of us. And then, of course, we're on Facebook quite a bit because we've got our Facebook page. We've got our Facebook group for the official Counterblast group is on there. There's a link on that. So we love seeing hobby stuff on there. You know, paint your minis, take pictures of your battle reports, you know, or your role-playing sessions or any of that type of stuff. We love to see that type of thing. Kubla Khan is coming up, which I kind of wanted to mention, and we're going to be sponsoring painting stuff, the painting contest for Kubla Khan. And I'm still waiting for Wayne Rogers to send me a list of what they would like for us to send to them. But I don't know if it's going to be, you know, for like a paint and take or speed paint content or what, you know, how it is. But we usually send them stuff so that we're represented at Kubla Khan. So those are the two shows that I know of.
He posted a thing on Facebook today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I missed that. So so I'll have to go and check that out.
Yep, but it's in May, I believe.
Mm-hmm. It's in May. So we've still got a little bit of time to send them stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about is this. Let's see. Kubla Khan is in my neighborhood. Well, look at that. So let's see. Is it possible to order the Bombshell Miniatures printed products from my mini factory? Yes, it is. And I say that because you can, if you go, well, actually, we'll just do it right here because you can see it. Let's see, where's my, okay. So I'm going to go to my mini factory and I'm already logged in. And I'm going to my public profile. For some reason, my mini factory takes a long time to load. let's try doing it like that. Okay. And ignore this because we don't have that. I don't even think you can see that. But if you go to, this is our web store with like all of the stuff that's currently in there. And on My Mini Factory, you'll notice that we've got the PDF for the Counterblast Jumpstart. So you can download that for free and check out the kind of a preview of the Savage World stuff. And then we've got all of the Jumpstart characters in there, plus some of their adversaries, because we've got Edo Primelings and the Edo Scudder in there for download. But if you go up here to buy physical prints, if you click on that, it should take you directly to our store over on Only Games, where you can get 3D prints from Only Games. So if you are not in the US, they will print those and send those to you from their local print shop or whatever. And you can see that we've got, Malo and Sprieg and Spar and all of the characters from the Jumpstart in
Pret
there.
Diane.
Diane Pret, yeah. And we've got Edo Spawnlings, I've got Destroys Nulls, and there are Edo Lisks in there. So, yeah. So and hey, get 10% off of your first order if you haven't.
There you go.
If you haven't subscribed or ordered anything, so be sure and take advantage of that. But yeah, so what I'm trying to do is right now I have all of the Counterblast stuff from My Mini Factory that we have on there right now in there, and that's not everything, because we do have a lot of Counterblast stuff in our web store that it's either not digital or it hasn't been released yet, that we still need to update. But of all the digital stuff that we do have, I have updated that on My Mini Factory, and you should be able to get those items like the Heavy Combat, the Gent bots, and so forth on Only Games.
Are the rocket box in there?
They are.
Oh yeah, there's a Artificer and a Striker.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe they're not.
Maybe they're not.
No.
Doesn't look like the rocket bikes are on there.
Okay, for some reason I have missed that. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, yeah. Right now there's a migration issue that they're having with My Mini Factory and with Only Games, in that the rocket bikes were uploaded as zip files to download bundles of zip files in that, and this can't unzip those files when it migrates it over to this other website for Only Games. So I have to go in and manually update that. So that's a project that's on my list of stuff to do, is to update the rocket bikes and break those apart, and upload the individual files, and then you'll be able to get the rocket bikes printed on Only Games directly from them. So
I've got a question. Infinite Aaron, you said you submitted for running the Counterblast RPG on Friday afternoon. For where?
At KublaCon, or was it a different show, or
was it for Adepticon?
So we'll have to. There's a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that hopefully that answers your question about, yes, you can get 3D prints from My Mini Factory by following the Buy Physical Prints tab.
Oh, for KublaCon. Cool.
For KublaCon. Oh, that's great. All right.
Yeah, because we're going to, we're trying to learn when to submit events to ReaperCon.
Yeah.
Because we're going to run some Counterblast Savage Worlds at ReaperCon, or it's our intention to. So, yeah, using Jumpstart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Cool.
Okay, and then the last little section that I kind of want to talk about, and we've kind of gone through a little bit of that, is the delivery and so forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to fulfill all of the products through our web store that are the physical print things, like our 3D prints, or the books, the Action Deck 10, all of that stuff. That's going to go through our web store. So if you back something on the Kickstarter project that's a physical item that's going to be shipped out from us. It's gonna come from here.
Yeah.
Okay. But then all of the digital fulfillment will take place over on DriveThruRPG. So what I'm trying to do right now is mirror all of the digital products that we have on my mini factory, the STL files, and copy those over to DriveThruRPG and make sure that both of those platforms have all of the digital content that we have available. And the cool thing about this is, and I'm not really letting the cat out of the bag because my mini factory has been talking about this for several months now. But later this year, they're going to be launching a print-on-demand section, just like I showed you with the Only Game site, where you can get like our STL files printed through their Only Games website. What they're going to be offering is, like right now, you can download the Jumpstart PDF, but they're going to be taking on 2D printing partners, which will offer booklets and I don't know. I think they're going to do hardback books, and they're talking about doing posters and cards and all of the basically the same stuff that you're going to be able to get over on DriveThruRPG. And so what we want to try to do is make sure that all of our assets are going to be available on both of those platforms. So if you're more into, shopping on my mini factory for your STL files, but you want to get some of the printed products, like, I want a book or I want a deck of cards and I don't have to print them myself, then you'll be able to download or you'll be able to buy those on, my mini factory as well as our through DriveThruRPG. They'll print those on demand, package them up, and ship them to you. And their printing partners are going to be regional to where, like, if you live in the UK or if you live in Europe and you want to get these products and stuff, rather than having to spend the exorbitant shipping costs that it would take for us to, send those packages to you from here in the US, then you'll be able to buy those and have them printed on demand where you are, and then the shipping will be a lot less, from those regions. So anyway, that's stuff that's coming later this year. And I'm hoping that a lot of it is going to be in place before we get to our fulfillment, which that's going to be
August. Yeah,
it's going to be ReaperCon. So we want to try to be able to get all of this stuff wrapped up and out to you guys, out to out to all of our backers by the time that ReaperCon rolls around, because we want to be able to take this stuff to ReaperCon and have that for the folks that may have missed it on the Kickstarter campaign. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so that's what we've got coming up on the project. Then there was a couple other things that we wanted to talk about outside of that.
World Anvil?
Yeah, we're going to talk about World Anvil. So let's check our... Let's see if we can refresh that. It's thinking. It's good. There's a lot of internet traffic. Okay, that's cool. That's 10%.
Already up to almost $3,000.
Yeah. 29 backers. That's great.
Thank y'all.
That is so cool. And we're not even an hour in yet. So that's great.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a wonderful start. So we certainly appreciate you guys jumping in and supporting the project and everything, because
sharing the launch with us.
Yes, that's
appreciate
you guys jumping into the chat and everything. So that's always a lot of fun. Okay, so the other thing that we wanted to talk about was World Anvil, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've set up putting Counterblast on World Anvil.
Yeah.
And the idea is to put everything that's in the book on World Anvil. So it's like we've got maps and pictures of everything, and it's all linked and cross-referenced and everything the way that World Anvil does the thing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if y'all, how many of y'all are familiar with World Anvil, and I mean, I'm kind of learning, getting my feet wet and learning how to enter all the content into it, but it's a really neat kind of
a platform.
Yeah,
it's a platform for hosting.
It's kind of like an illustrated encyclopedia of your game settings or your world building or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like you can have illustrated articles with all kinds of information that are linked, and then when you mouse over those, it pops up windows that gives you more information. And I've been finding more and more, like on the wikis, their platforms are now doing that kind of thing. When you it doesn't just give you a link to click to go to a different page, it actually pops up and gives you like a little picture sometimes, or it gives you a bunch of content in there, and it's really awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be such an incredible gaming tool for people to be able to just use their devices and like, oh hey, you know, instead of having to lug around 20 different books,
right,
you can, you know, have this handy, all this content handy through your you know, your laptop or iPad or whatever kind of device you have, I guess.
Yeah, well that's the thing. It's like, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about, the maps and stuff earlier, because it's like, well, okay, we could have a galaxy map on there.
Yeah.
And then you have all the little locations pinned on there with links, and you click on that, and then it either takes you to a section about that, and it's like, okay, well, here's other regional maps, like here's this system and blah 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 blah. And so then on these planets
here.
Right, and
this you know, the stellar exchange is found in this nebula, and it's blah blah blah.
Or you can get, you know, consignment wall-eyed platterfish at this thing, you know, whatever it is that, you know,
these restaurants are here.
Yeah, exactly. So so it's a super great resource for just dumping all of our setting material onto that.
It's really neat because you can get, you know, super detailed with it.
Right.
It's really cool. It's just like, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? You know, you just keep following link after link after link.
Right. And so in order to fund additional content, because we've got lots and lots of ideas on there, so what we're going to do is we've restructured our Patreon thing where later, and I'm not sure if it'll be after fulfillment or if we'll launch it, you know, before that, in preparation for having the Kickstarter fulfilled, or how that's going to work. We're still kind of figuring out how we're going to coordinate that. But basically, you'd be able to subscribe on Patreon for a few dollars, whatever it's going to be, and then you would have access to everything that's over on World Anvil for Counterblast. Plus, we would be uploading additional content to it. So, like, even though we would be making a print walleye platterfish or contraband, something about being an endangered species, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. The Illyrians ain't gonna like it.
Right. So, man, I'll tell you, Timothy Higgins right in there with the, with the lore, man.
It's like he's on it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the Alani and the Shrenar really like him.
Right. But what we'll be able to do is, say, for example, you know, we want to put out a Niran source book that's like a little digest that's like, okay, here's the Niran Empire and a whole bunch of detail about them, and maybe they're going to be a playable player character species, you know, or what, you know, and then here's all the stuff about their setting, and really expand that whole segment of the setting. Then we'll put that stuff over on World Anvil too, so like, you know, you'll have access to all of that over there through Patreon. So right. Yeah. And it's going to be tough for us to not translate a lot of the stuff that was in those previous editions into this one without, you know, just copying it right over, because, you know, we want to include all of that material, plus we want to expand on that and offer you guys a lot of new material, you know.
Yeah, there's
details it out.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, the neat thing about World Anvil 2 is you can, you know, there'll be a certain amount of information that's just public, that anybody going to World Anvil can look at it. But like, there's ways to set it up to be like, well, players can see this content and GMs can see everything.
Right. Right.
So and there's a way to go in and tell it, based on how you set up your account, what you can see and what you won't be able to see. So that's kind of cool because it helps from,
it reduces the spoilers.
It reduces spoilers. Yeah. So that's great.
And the other thing about that is that
Zoojet, like Zoozara.
Yeah,
that's right. Zoojet.
And Aaron was asking when the World Anvil stuff is going to be available.
I'm good. Okay, once everything, right now, the target date to get everything sent off to the printer, would probably be by the 1st of June. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. But that may fluctuate a little bit. Hopefully not, but, you never know. I hate to write it in stone, but that's what we're shooting for. And then once that's all taken care of, then I can kind of start focusing on, I have started adding content to World Anvil for our Counterblast setting, but I'll have to get back to it and do that. I don't know how long that's going to take.
But
I have a certain amount of learning curve because it uses what is that, BB code?
Yeah,
and
I can help you with that because I'm a little bit more familiar with.
Yeah, he's more tech than me. I'm not the most tech person there ever was, but I can learn. I mean, certain things.
Yeah.
And once I get a process down, then I can just go. But once I can kind of get back to that, then however long it takes me to enter that content, or at least enter enough content that we feel like, okay, people playing would have, most of what, pretty much everything they're going to need right now. And then we can kind of add 2 things and then just keep going from there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I would like to be able to have it ready for people to use by ReaperCon, but it may be later than that. We'll just have to see how it goes.
Well, and then one of the things that we can do is kind of stage out the kind of content that we're putting on there, because
that's true.
Right now we have the Jumpstart guide, and it would be super cool to be able to take all the material that we have from the Jumpstart and load it into there, and then it's like, okay, because that's a free PDF anyway, and it's like, okay, well, you can download the PDF, and you can also go and look at the different things on it and use the resources on there. We could put a couple of maps on there, or whatever.
We definitely want to put maps in there, and I've started putting like the different species, and there'll definitely be creatures, different creatures in there, and articles about the various cultures and whatnot.
Right.
So. And
in regard to World Anvil, as an option, there are additional options out there for like virtual tabletop stuff. I know, or VTTs. I know there's a couple of like Roll20, I think is one. But anyway, I'm not familiar with or have used any of the virtual tabletop applications at all. Okay, because for me, tabletop role-playing gaming is, kind of live with figures and dice and stuff. Okay, so, but that's not to say that, I won't look into that. So I'm very interested in it. I just need to find out what requirements there will be for the assets, because all of our assets are going to be digital, so we can make little tokens for the characters and do all of the things that we'll need to do in order to make sure that those assets work in the virtual tabletop realm. But I haven't looked into that yet, and that's why we didn't want to put anything on the Kickstarter about it. Okay, Aaron's talking about Foundry VTT. Okay, so that's another one. And I know that Savage Worlds supports the virtual tabletop platforms, so that's something that I want to do. But it's going to come down to, it's just Vicky and I working on this, and so
He's always telling me there's only one.
There's only one of me. There's only one of me.
And, well, there's only one of me too.
Right. And so we're we're sculpting and we're writing and we're putting art together and drawing and doing and all of that stuff. So so we're doing the best we can in order to try to get all of the material that we want to out to you guys so that you can enjoy it too. So so that's a thing. But I didn't post anything on the Kickstarter project about it because that's still something that I'm looking at, and if I'm able to get that up and working, then that will be available at the time that, fulfillment wraps up by like ReaperCon. If we get World Anvil working, we can get some assets out for the virtual tabletops and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we've covered that. There's just one last thing that I want to look at before we head out.
How are we doing on time?
Well, we're about...
Oh my gosh, we're over an hour.
Well,
wow.
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't start until a little bit after 1.
Well, yeah, because it kept going.
Yeah, so we're about 5 minutes over.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So, have y'all considered cloning? No, because that's an illegal mechas activity, and we don't want to be associated with the mechas.
I'm not real crazy about some of the stuff I've seen with that.
Mm-hmm. But that may be an answer. I don't know.
But, yeah.
But I want to look at the comments and see what we've got on the project here. So I'm just going to scroll through those real quick and see. Let's see. This is obviously a question here. And for digital, I also want a print book. Is there a way to add on the printed book? Let's see. 3 of 6 replies. Let's see. Let's look at all these. Or a pledge with a digital and print book. Okay. At the bottom of the page, it shows the printed version of the book is available as an add-on. It is. It is a $40 add-on. There you go. And I'm used to add-ons being available when pledging. Yeah. So yeah, we didn't go and build in a whole bunch of like add-on things in the pledge things. So just because we were trying to keep it kind of streamlined, but
yeah, it helps me. I mean, I hope it doesn't make it difficult for y'all, but we tried to keep it simple, because that helps us when we're trying to fulfill it. But I apologize if it makes problems for y'all.
Okay, I'm trying to understand this comment here and see if we can kind of address that. Let's see, what is it that you want to get? Okay, you wanted to get a physical book and a PDF, but either want STLs of minis or no minis at all. It also seems like adding a physical book as an add-on is skewing the price up some compared to the all physical pledge. Yeah. And that takes into account the handling of the physical items, to ship them out. Let's see, please consider adding a physical book and PDF pledge only, which gives... I don't think we need to really do that, because if you go into the add-on thing, if all you want is a book and PDF, then select the $5 add-on pledge level and select the, pledge the amount for the book, and you're going to get the hardback book and the PDF, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about adding on the miniatures if you don't want those. So I thought that, the way that we structured it tried to take that into account. And and I'll go ahead and I'll write up an answer, for that, because we want to make sure that, you feel like you get the value that you're going to want to get on the project if you want to back that. So yeah, I'll be happy to put a comment on there. But anyway, I want to thank everybody, all 31 of our backers so far that have jumped in in the first hour of the show, and we're almost at 3,000.
Almost to 3,000.
Yeah.
Wow, in an hour. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, very excited about that. So, Florian jumped in and congratulated us. Yeah. So we appreciate that, and
thank you all for hanging out with us.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody coming into the chat and sitting in with us today and visiting with us, during our Kickstarter launch. And we're going to keep you guys updated throughout the campaign that wraps up It's got 18 days to go now, so be sure and tell all of your pals that are interested in pulp sci-fi Savage World stuff to come and check it out. And Vicky and I will. I'm not going to be streaming this week on Wednesday. I'm going to skip the Sculpting show this week because we're doing today, and I'm going to need to kind of readjust, what I'm doing the rest of the week to make sure that the campaign is running. But we were looking at doing a chat show together, probably like on Fridays. And then I've also got some edited videos that I want to put together that we'll be putting on YouTube, like hobby tips and things like that, in order to kind of fill out the content on our YouTube channel. So I appreciate you guys, coming and hanging out with us on the live launch. And we certainly appreciate your support. Was there anything you wanted to talk about before we head out?
Well, I just want to thank everybody. I really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Appreciate all your questions and comments and helping us out.
Yep. And so we will keep you guys posted on anything that's going on with the project and other news. So with that in mind, I've got our last little message here from Shopcat, and we will see you guys soon. So thanks again. We'll talk to you later.
Take care, everybody.
Shopcat says, Riverdance on over to bombshellminis.com. She's very excited for you to check out all of our new releases and offers for March. Be sure to scroll down and check out all of the links for this particular episode. And be on the lookout for our Kickstarter project that'll be launching on Monday the 27th. Also, like and subscribe on the video here and on our channel. That will really help us out, and we'll see you next week.